away from the lights, but I don't dare to. I'm too fragile, and for that I do apologize. Maybe someday we can work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I don't dare to.
Ooh, my goodness, it's sunny. Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. Saravá and Axé to you. It is so nice to be looking into your beautiful smiling faces, even though I'm glaring directly into this sunlight. So let me move my location and we shall continue, because today I have a really exciting subject that I would like to delve into and share information with you and hear your thoughts on the matter. Alright, so today I want to discuss the subject of psychic gifts, and I would like your input towards the end of this video. And if you are keen to hear all about what I have to say in regards to psychic gifts, in particular our friend Claire, then please do keep on watching and be sure to remember to comment. I have always felt a little awkward discussing the subject of psychic gifts with anyone outside of my family. It's quite quirky actually how this feeling of trepidation creeps up in me, but nevertheless it is there, and I've never discussed it with dear friends. I've never really discussed it within coven spaces. I've never really discussed it here on my channel, but at the end of the day I believe in it. I believe in the Claires and beyond the Claires. And what I mean by that is that there are many, many ways in which our intuition, our psychic gifts, our inner knowing, our talents from a supernatural perspective can exist and play out in each of our lives. And so I want to specifically talk about the Claires because it is perhaps the easiest one to approach, because there is a slight classification when it comes to the Claires that makes this conversation just that little bit easier to have. Okay, my beautiful friends, so just in case you're not familiar with the subject of the Claires, then let me just say to you that typically there are 5 Claires. So if you Google this information, you are typically going to find 5 Claires listed. 5 attributes, 5 psychic gifts listed. But there are some who have managed to stretch that out to 8 and give extra classifications for some of the experiences that they feel are relevant to mention. And they are still part of the Claires. So what I'm going to do here today is mention all 8 as opposed to 5, and you can make up your mind which one you prefer. Do you believe that there are only 5? Do you believe that there are 8? Do you not care and just believe that there are many out there that are yet to be truly classified, and as such all should be accepted? Totally up to you. So let's slowly and carefully walk through these 8 Claires as they are typically classified. I would like to start with Claire number 1, which is perhaps the most well-known Claire, and one that is depicted in Hollywood and TV shows and on and on and on. And that is clairvoyance. The ability to see into the future, the ability to be able to retrieve psychic information and put that psychic information to good use. That is Claire number 1. Claire number 2 is clairsentience, and that is to be able to clearly feel your way through a situation, to be able to experience that flow of information from a tactile perspective through the physical and non-physical body. Claire number 3 is claircognizance, and this one I have experience with, and it is the ability to simply know, to intrinsically know with every fiber of your being. You just know. And this gift for me plays out when I am dealing with people. Not just people, but mostly when I'm dealing with people. I have a reputation in my social circle of just never ever being wrong about a person. The next Claire, which I believe we are at number 4 now, is known as clairtangence, also known as psychometry, the ability to retrieve psychic information from an object by touching said object. Claire number 5 is clairaudience, which means to clearly hear what is not audibly present. And so it is the ability to tap into all of that psychic information, all those whispers from spirit that are in and around us at all times, and to be able to pull from that stream of information a coherent piece of information or a truth that can be shared. Clairsalience is the ability to smell what is not present. I had this experience when I was pregnant. I would be able to just smell all sorts of things that were nowhere near me. It was superhuman, in fact, and I know that many other women who have gone through pregnancy have experienced such a thing. But those with this gift take it that one step further, and they are able to pull information from that scent and be able to turn it once again into that coherent stream of wisdom that can be used in any sort of situation. Clair number 7 is clair empathy. And this is to be able to perceive through one's emotions. And we are all familiar with the concept of an empath and how an empath can physically feel the emotions, the pain, the hurt, the happiness, the joy of others. This is a clair. And clair number 8, our very last clair to mention here, is clairgustance. The ability to taste what is not physically there. Okay, so now that I have outlined 8 of the better known, we'll call it that for the moment, shall we, clairs, then I will leave it up to you to determine for yourselves whether or not there are 5 clairs, 7 clairs, 8 clairs, 100 clairs, 1 million clairs. The number of clairs is not important. What is important is that there is a friendly, easy to know classification for each of these abilities that does exist in the sphere of consciousness of many individuals, especially witches. Now, it is my firm belief that each of us as human beings have fragments of these clairs within us, and that we can strengthen those fragments by building a relationship. Now, just as we create relationships with others, with our friends and our family, etc., we pour attention, we pour time, we pour energy into ensuring that they are listened to, respected, and so on. So too do we treat the cultivation and the strengthening of our clairs so that they can become something that we can rely on time and time again with trust, confidence, and ease. I wanted to add that I feel as an adult that I have quite a good grasp on my clairs, and I know that I've brushed up against many of them, but there are some that stick with me permanently, and I do credit my upbringing to that. I was raised to believe in myself. I was raised to believe in my intuition. I was nourished in such a way and instructed and informed and educated in such a manner that made my ability to truly connect with these intuitive faculties just so much easier. And I do believe that that has created this, you know, deep and enduring level of trust that I have in my personal intuitive hits. And so as a mother, I believe that it is my divine duty, to put it as dramatically as I possibly can, to ensure that I provide for my children exactly what was provided for me, so that they can grow up with that same type of confidence and connection to their intuitive faculties, to their psychic gifts, to their clairs. When it comes to the subject of our intuition, our psychic skills, and all that that brings forth in one's mind, there are many, many pitfalls that we can encounter, most of which can be avoided if we are taught to truly harness a profound sense of trust. And trust is not something that is easy to cultivate, particularly when it comes to something as ambiguous as our psychic gifts. But learning to trust, learning to find the language and the tools to better support the development of our psychic gifts is absolutely paramount in ensuring that we can embrace those gifts wholeheartedly without feeling any of those heavier emotions that can oftentimes surface within us because we don't understand something, because we fear something, and so on and so forth. I would now like to ask you a question. Can you recall a time in your life where you felt one of your clairs nudging you, whether that be gently or abruptly? Can you remember a time where your intuition, where your psychic gifts, in whichever form they may have manifested in your life at that particular time, can you remember a time when they came forth and perhaps took you by surprise, or perhaps changed your perspective on matters, opened up your eyes, saved your life? Do you remember critical moments in your life in which your psychic gifts flared up so that you knew that there was more to you than what had always been told? Do you recall a time? I would also like to ask if you have already, in this stage of your life, identified any of your psychic gifts. Of any of the 8 clairs that I mentioned, do you resonate with one more than the other? Do you resonate with a handful more than the other? And that's another thing that I would like to bring to the table for discussion, is that we don't just have one, we have a multitude of these clairs within us. And some are more prominent than others, but they all belong to the realm of possibility that exists within each and every one of us. But there will be times that because of our upbringing, our culture, our life experiences, we have been taught to inadvertently cultivate one particular clair over another, simply because that is the way that it was for us. So if you are able to open yourself up to me and to this beautiful community in that way, and to respond to that question, and to share that very personal and private information, I would love to hear what you have to say on that matter. So with all of that said and done, I want to wish you so much love, luck, peace and joy. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. It was an absolute pleasure being able to bring this subject to you for the very first time on my channel, and to do so with such a level of peace and courage and understanding. So thank you for allowing me to share this sacred space with you, and please do share this video around if it is something that has really resonated with you. Please do like it, give it a little thumbs up, comment below if you have something to add to this conversation, and as per usual, I will be seeing you tomorrow.